Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Wolfenite Insights. Today we are doing a past life reading. More specifically, we will be asking the universe if you had a past life in Atlantis. We're going to be finding out, of course, if you are an Atlantean. We're also going to be asking, what were you doing in Atlantis? What was your purpose in that life? What lesson you did not complete in that life, and how your past life in Atlantis is relevant to your current life. So if you've always had a feeling that you lived during the Atlantis era, or you did live in Atlantis itself, stay tuned for this reading so that you can get your answers answered, or what I mean is your questions answered. As you can see on the table, we have pile number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and pause the video. What I do recommend is that you take a couple minutes, to really ground yourself into the earth's energy. And what I mean by that is, taking a couple deep breaths where you inhale for a 5 count, you hold your breath for a 7 count, and then you exhale for another 5 count. And you do this a couple times until you feel relaxed and you feel at ease. And what this technique does, it helps your nervous system relax. And when you're relaxed, you are anchored to the earth's energy. And when you're anchored to the earth's energy, you can look at these piles and really feel which of these piles really vibrates in your energy so that you can get the most accurate reading possible. Of course, this is a past life reading, but just know that if it sounds truth to you, honor that truth, because only you know truly your past lives, your reincarnations, and what you've been through. I hope that you guys enjoy this reading. If you guys do, go ahead and give this video a like. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell button next to it so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. Just in case you guys don't know, I upload every Tuesday, and I also offer private readings, and you can find the link to my Etsy shop in the description box down below, and you can find the timestamps for each pile in the description box down below. Well, with that being said, let's get started. Hi group number 1, welcome to your reading. Today we will be asking the universe if you lived in the Atlantis time, or if you were from that era. We're going to be asking the universe who you were during the Atlantis time. What was your life purpose in that time? What lessons did you not complete in that life? And how that life is relevant to your current life. Well, group number 1, while I was shuffling the cards, the universe told me that you actually lived in the Atlantis time. You actually lived in the continent of Atlantis. So if you were wondering if you did have a past life there, you 100% did, and you lived in the continent of Atlantis. So the first card that comes up for you is the baby step card. So during Atlantis, you were actually one of the newborns. What that means is that you guys were the descendants of the star seeds, but were also mixed with human life. So with that being said, group number 1, you were there to develop your intuition. You were there to be keepers of time. You were there as a person learning sound healing, learning how everything is connected to one another. Your life in Atlantis was a very brand new soul, like I said, very brand new in that time. And you were really getting adjusted to the earth's energy, and you were hearing the history of how the Atlanteans got there. You were the one where, the best way I can describe it is, the star seeds, well, I mean, you are a star seed, but the ones that came here to the planet, they ended up teaching you all the things that you needed to learn. So in that life, group number 1, You were very much developing your intuition and understanding how the earth played a part in the universe. You guys were ones in which you guys, like I said, developing your intuition, learning sound bath, really understanding like energy healings and the vibration of the earth. That is what you were doing in Atlantis. You guys were also record keepers. I see a lot of you guys documenting the information that beings from the universe came and showed you guys in that lifetime. You guys were very gentle souls. You guys all wanted to make sure that everything lived in harmony. And what I'm really feeling is that you guys were born in that life when Atlantis was barely, becoming its own civilization. That's how brand new you guys were, to the point where there was some also still contact with space, where the aliens, I know it might sound far-fetched for some of you guys, but if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you already know that some of the beings from the universe came to Atlantis and were also teaching you. Those beings that came weren't necessarily the ones who created Atlantis, but they were the ones that also helped teach you guys about the truths of the earth and of the universe, and really the key of vibration. And you guys were documenting that. You guys were really documenting all of that information. Now, your purpose during that time when you were in Atlantis, like I said right here in this card, is you were supposed to document everything, but also find that balance between living in the 3D world and the 5D world. You were really the people that were learning about knowledge. You guys were the ones who were truly trying to understand how everything worked. And your purpose in life in that lifetime was to create a new earth, to take the evolution to the next step and really harmonize with all the other tribes that were living in that earth in that moment in time. You guys were really there to spread the word of peace, the word of unity, and your purpose was to help harmonize all the different, people that lived during that time with the Atlantis culture, perspective, and the earth. That's really what I really get. You guys were never maleficent. You guys were very loving people in that time, and all you wanted was to create the new earth where we all were harmonized and we all accepted each of our truths without judgments. You guys were very beautiful beings. The energy that I'm getting is quite beautiful. Now, what lesson you did not complete in that life, group number 1? I have here that you're not for everyone. So your life purpose, like I said, was to bring harmony, peace, and understanding to the world. But the lesson that you didn't learn in that life is that you're not for everyone, that you are very different from the rest. So what I'm seeing right now, group number 1, is that in that time, as you were spreading the knowledge, you were keeping all the records of that knowledge, you came into contact with other civilizations that were at that time happening and evolving, and you couldn't really, how do I explain it? You guys couldn't come to terms. You knew what your purpose was, and it was difficult for you to accept that the other people didn't want that help. It was very difficult for you to know that people didn't view the world the way you viewed it. It was difficult for you to assimilate that not everyone had the world's best interest, that not everyone wanted that peace and that harmony, and that not everyone saw the world and life the way you saw it. Group number 1, you definitely were, like I said, a new soul during that time, but you're, what I mean by that is a new soul in the earth, but you were very evolved spiritually, because You were able to be born in the continent of Atlantis. You were able to hear its history, how it was created. There was still some contact with the beings from the universe. So you really understood what was the purpose of living on Earth, and you wanted to spread that. You wanted to harmonize. You really wanted to teach everything that you learned at Atlantis to others. But the lesson that you didn't learn was that no matter how hard you try to make others see your perspective, they're gonna see life the way they see it. And not everyone believed in your teachings. Not everyone believed in the knowledge that you had. And that caused you a lot of pain because you did not understand how people could be so individualistic when at the end of the day, we were on Earth to bring harmony and unite all the different civilizations that were in that Earth in that moment in time. That's something that the universe is being very clear with me, that in that lifetime was so difficult for you, that caused a lot of frustration, that caused a lot of heartache and a lot of pain, in which you started to feel like what you were doing was pointless, that you started to just question, why was everything so difficult when the answer was so simple? Group number one. Now, how is that past life in Atlantis relevant to you right now? The card that we have here is the whale and the orca elders. So what that means, group number one, is that your purpose that you had in the Atlantis life is still your purpose here in the current life. With the whale and the orcas, they're very spiritual beings that hold all the information of the universe. There's a lot of legends and a lot of beliefs that the whales were the first beings in contact with the beings of the universe, and they themselves understand light codes, and they are the keepers of all the information that is stored in the water. So with that being said, group number one, in the water, if you guys don't know this already, water holds memory, water holds knowledge. Water is the one element that if you really tap into it, you are able to reach and review all of the Earth's history since day one. So with that being said, group number one, how is this relevant for your current life is that the universe wants you to tap in deep within yourself, deep within your DNA, and remember who you are. Remember all the wonderful things that you wanted to do and the beautiful message of love and light that you were trying to spread around the earth. You guys were very much historians in Atlantis, like I said, record keepers, but you had the innate knowledge of the universe, of sacred geometry, and how vibration really plays a role in what comes into our lives and how it affects the collective and the matrix. That's something that I'm getting very strong for you guys, group number one. And what I'm also getting is that in this life, group number one, understand that people are going to have their own perspectives. They're going to have their own values. At the end of the day, that doesn't mean that they're right or wrong. What that means is that that's their journey that they are in life, and they're gonna be experiencing life in a way that brings them to their truth. But what the universe wants you to know, group number one, don't let go of your truth. Know your truth in your heart. Embrace that truth and be the loving soul that you've always been. Be that soul that brings no judgment to the world, that doesn't judge others because of their beliefs and their perspectives like they judged you many lives ago. Be that one that holds sacred energy in the earth and tap into that energy deep within you. What I'm getting is that for some of you guys, it's going to be meditation. For others of you, it's going to be learning a new form of healing, like sound healing and Reiki, as well as taking some time. What I'm getting for the ones for meditation is to meditate outside in the sun. Most importantly, the sun, because it's going to bring you the light code messages that you need in order to awaken the things that have been asleep in your DNA, group number 1. So that's what I'm getting, group number 1. You guys definitely did have a past life in Atlantis. You lived during that life when it was very brand new, and all you wanted to do was spread the message of harmony between Earth and the universe. But you were looked at like if you were crazy, like if your ideas were way out there by the other civilizations that lived outside of Atlantis. But in this life, group number 1, the angels, the universe, they all want you to tap in to your own energy and remember who you are in this life. I'll end your reading there, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, hit the little notification button so that you can be notified each time I upload. And if you enjoyed this reading or have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are interested in a private reading, I do offer those, and you can find the link to my Etsy shop in the description box down below. Well, thank you so much, group number 1, and until next time, bye-bye. Hi, group number 2, welcome to your reading. Today we are asking the universe if you had a past life in Atlantis or you lived during the era of Atlantis. We're going to be asking the universe what you did in that life, who were you, what was your purpose in that life, what lesson did you not complete in that life, and how is that life relevant to your current life. All right, group number 2. So when I was shuffling the cards for you, I got it clear that you are actually from Atlantis. You lived during that time and you were considered an Atlantean. So with that being said, let's ask the universe, who were you and what did you do during your life in Atlantis? So the first card that I have here is the jump in card. So you guys in Atlantis were the healers, but the healers in which you understood light codes, you understood crystal vibration, and you understood sound healing. You understood how by playing certain sound waves could change the vibration of things and eradicate illnesses. That's something that I'm really getting. You guys were truly the healers of that time. You guys were the ones that made sure that the earth and Atlantis and those light code energies that you were receiving from the universe were translated and interpreted into the language of your people. You actually were always a person of change. You were a person that was always just helping others, but more than anything, you were very in tune into that vibrational healing. So in tune that you were the ones that helped the Atlanteans. Obviously, you were there living in Atlantis, but create, I don't want to say it's technology because it doesn't feel like how this technology works. It was very much like instruments, but not, oh my goodness, this is going to be very difficult to put into words, but not like musical instruments. Instead, what I see is that you guys created certain gadgets in which it will hold vibration. You would be able to manipulate it and help others heal their mind, their body, and reconnect with the universe intuitively. You guys actually had a very important task, and that was just something that you guys did naturally, that you guys were able to do. Now, what was your purpose in that life? I have here deep cellular healing. It really goes with this first card that I said. Your purpose in that life, group number 2, was really to heal all the people in Atlantis and all the people that also came to visit Atlantis. You were there to reconnect the human to the universe. You guys were the people that went and healed people emotionally very deeply and helped them understand that they were all connected to one another. You were the ones that relieved the pain from like wars and fights and just regular injuries. You guys were the ones who really, like I said, your purpose in that lifetime was to heal people, help the people communicate with the universe, develop their intuition, but develop it through vibration, through sound, through light codes, and just very much initiate people on their spiritual journey. That was your life purpose in the Atlantean time. Now, a lesson that you didn't complete in that life here, group number 2, we have the messenger card. So what that means is group number 2, like I said, your purpose was to heal others, to initiate them into communicating with the universe and the earth as one. But the lesson that you didn't learn was sharing that knowledge, sharing that information. You kept it very much to yourself because people always came to you, but you didn't take the time to teach others. You didn't take the time to take students in and initiate them so that they can continue the work that you were doing during the time in Atlantis. What I'm really seeing is that foreigners would come into the Atlantean continent and you would show them this information by healing them. However, you didn't take the time to explain how that happened. Like an example that I'm getting is, so you guys can understand better, like Reiki. You can go for a Reiki healing in which they heal you, they center you back into the earth and the universe, they put in light energy that helps you harmonize and open all your chakras to be one with the earth and the universe. Yet, if you think about it this way, group number 2, you didn't initiate people to be able to teach that and do that to the rest when they return to their continent. I hope that makes sense, but that's really what I saw. That's what the universe was telling me right now. It's the same as when you go to get Reiki, but that Reiki healer says you're good to go, you're happy. However, you never learned how to perform Reiki on yourself and with others. So therefore, the things that you were able to do, the deep spiritual cellular healing that you were able to do in Atlantis was lost and wasn't spread to the rest of the earth, So that's a lesson that you did not learn, and that's a lesson that you can apply in this life, that the knowledge that you have, the knowledge that you've learned through experience, share it, teach it, because that's really going to make a big impact in the earth. Now, how is that life relevant to your current life, group number 2? I have here the Star Keeper. So what this means, group number 2, is that you guys, for this life, what I'm feeling, group number 2, is that you guys are receiving in this life a lot of that information that you were able to do through dreams, through daydreams, through synchronicities, through just what I'm getting is that your crown chakra is very open and that the universe is giving you that information to remember it. Now, how was the Atlantis life relevant to this current life? Is that group number 2, the universe wants you to tap into your crown chakra, really remember how you used to do that deep healing work through light codes, through sound healing, it's relevant in this life because what you didn't do in your past life to be the messenger, that's kind of what you're going to be in this life, group number 2. What I'm really feeling is that the way your past life is relevant to this life is that you have natural healing talents. You have your third eye open and you are open and aware and awakened to many realities and the synchronicities of the world. You receive this information like lightning, like aha moments, and that information, they want you to really dig deep into it, understand it, and make it coherent to yourself so that you can continue to heal others the way you used to. And what I'm also getting for some of you, group number 2, is that they don't want you to feel pressured to have to learn sound healing, energy healing, stuff like that. They want you to know that you are a healer naturally, and however that looks like to you in this life, that is okay, group number 2. If that looks like to you recycling, doing therapy, being a counselor, a life coach, a nutritional person, a personal trainer, volunteering at in an animal shelter, anything that is healing, you are on the right path, group number 2. And because in the Atlantis time, when you lived in that continent, you were a natural healer, and those abilities were so strong, that is something that you just do naturally. By you being present in this earth, and by you embracing yourself and really just holding space for yourself, you are holding space for others. What I'm getting is that your aura holds that information, and your energy, when people pass by it, helps them, level up energetically. That's how powerful you are, because that's how naturally you were able to heal others in the Atlantean time. And that's something that you've carried on to this life. So just know, group number 2, you are a natural healer, and you are healing people whether you are aware about it or not. So something that I'm getting is, don't be too hard on yourself in this life, group number 2. You're doing everything that you're supposed to, and you are where you are meant to be in this moment in life, group number 2. I'll end your reading there. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Click that notification button so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. If you are interested in a private reading, my link to my Etsy shop is in the description box down below. And if you enjoyed this video or had any thoughts about it, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Thank you so much, group number 2. And until next time, bye-bye. Hi, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Today we are asking the universe if you had a past life in Atlantis, or if you were born during that era. And we're going to be asking who you were during that life, what was your purpose during that life, what lessons you didn't learn during your time in that era, and how is that life relevant to your current life. So group number 3, before I get started, while I was shuffling the cards, the universe made it very clear that you did not live in the Atlantis continent, but you lived in the colonies of Atlantis when the civilization started to grow and spread and just expand their civilization. So you lived in one of the outer colonies, and by outer I don't mean outskirts, I mean more like it's the continent of Atlantis and you were in the colonies nearby the continent. So during that time, group number 3, the person that you were, you guys were a traveler. So this is the card of the lost lands. So group number 3, during the time in the colonies, you actually were a messenger. You were the one who brought the teachings of the Atlantis continent to the colonies. You were the ones that taught them about the history of Atlantis. You were the ones who helped the colonies grow and understand how they're connected with the earth and the universe. You taught them modalities of centering themselves, contacting the higher dimensions, and really just spreading the message of Atlantis. What I'm getting clearly, group number 3, is that your parents actually left the continent to share the message of Atlantis, and when you were born, you continued to do that. You actually went back to the Atlantean continent to study, to learn, to gather that information, and came back to your native lands where you were born in to teach the people in those colonies the truth about the universe, about the origin of humans, about the history, and just all the higher realms that exist. You were the messenger. You were out there giving that information to others, which I think that is very beautiful, you know. That's definitely what I'm getting. And your purpose in that lifetime, group number 3, was to help others really take care of the earth and be one with the universe, which makes sense why you were spreading the word of Atlantis, the teachings, the way they connected with the higher realms, the way they, you know, resolved conflict, the way they took care of one another. That's because you did that. Your purpose in life was really to just bring that harmony to all the other people that lived within those colonies, especially in your colony in particular. What I'm getting is that it wasn't that you were in charge of that colony, but you were part of that like group that was in charge of that colony, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of how I'm getting, but you were kind of high up there. What I'm also getting, group number 3, that your purpose was really to, like I said, harmonize everyone, but really spread that message, to be that messenger, and to help all of humanity, especially in your colony in particular, grow and level up spiritually. You were really there to teach them how they can create their own reality, and you taught them step by step. That's what I'm getting. Like, I really see you sitting and having, you know, people surrounding you, listening to your stories, listening to the history, but more importantly, listening on what steps they could take in order to be one with the universe and be one with themselves and those around. You were very much spreading the message of love, spreading the message of unity and healing, and helping all those people in that colony understand that they are limitless. That really was your purpose, and that was something that you did basically throughout your whole life, and you really enjoyed it. I'm getting you really helped many, especially in your colony during that time. What I'm also getting is that you also explained to them the purpose of the temples and how certain meditations or ways of healing could connect you with the higher dimensions. That is what I'm getting very clearly. Now, a lesson that you didn't complete or learn in that life, group number 3, is the great serving. So with this card, group number 3, the lesson that you didn't understand, what I'm getting here is that even though you understood we were all one, limitless, and you were there to help others, I see that there is a lot of judgment clouding you. That the lesson in particular that you didn't know is that although, like, this is a saying that it just popped in my head, I don't know if I'm going to say it correctly, but you could lead the horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink it. That is something that I'm getting. That was something that was a lesson that you didn't learn. That yes, you were the messenger, you were showing all these people, but you couldn't force them to believe you. You had followers, you had disciples, you had people learning from you, and they were coming into their truth. What you didn't learn in that life was that a lot of people will always hold anger. And what I'm getting with that word right now is that you also felt a lot of anger because you saw how your colony didn't take in these teachings and ended up just doing things for themselves. So that's why you held that judgment, and that's why you were clouded by judgment, because you were seeing how reactive the people in your colony were. You were seeing how much there was unnecessary conflict, but yet when you gave them the answers to heal and to problem solve, they just didn't listen. And the lesson that you didn't learn in that life was to see people with compassion, to understand that at the end of the day, no matter all the knowledge you have and you give them, they are going to kind of just do what feels right to them. And what you didn't understand is that the actions that people took in that life when you were living in that colony were due to fear, were due to anger, were due to conflict, and it had nothing to do with you. That was the lesson that you didn't learn in that life, group number 3. And how is that life relevant to your current life, group number 3? The card that we have here is fall into my arms. So what I'm getting here, group number 3, is that you are here to experience the extremes of life. And the reason for that, group number 3, is because you didn't notice that all these people were reacting from a place of anger, fear, and conflict from that energy that many people say is lower vibrational energy. Which in a way, yes, it is, but we are human. If we are able to alchemize that energy, process that energy, then all it can bring is good once that anger, that fear has been processed and let go. It becomes lower vibrational energy when you are unable to let go of that anger, when you are unable to let go of those fears and those conflicts. That's something that they want you to understand very much. And your life right now is being impacted by your past life in a sense that you are here to experience those feelings. You are here to really expand the way you see the world. And you are here to observe how people really stem from anger and conflict and fear. And you are here to bring awareness to yourself and notice what your actions, where your actions stem from fear, conflict, and anger, group number 3. Your past life in the Atlantis colony is relevant to you right now because you're here to understand duality. You are here to surrender to how the world is happening. Obviously, you still have your free will, but you're truly just surrendering to the process and not forcing others to see the world the way you see it. You provide your advice and your wisdom, but you don't force it onto them. You allow the ones that are ready to learn to listen to the knowledge that you have about yourself, about the earth, about the universe, group number 3. And if you haven't discovered it yet, group number 3, because I'm hearing that some of you guys are like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. The knowledge that the universe wants you to know, it's that knowledge of self-love. It's that knowledge of compassion and understanding, the knowledge of non-judgment that you hold deep within your DNA. It's also that knowledge of just being authentic. And if you haven't remembered that yet, life is going to help you remember your authenticity, the self-love, the understanding, the harmony, the balance and peace that you and the whole world truly is. But you're gonna be able to understand why people make the choices that they do. You're going to be able to look at your life and be like, oh wow, when I made that choice, that came from anger. It didn't come from love. And you're going to actively make choices that come from love, from understanding and self-compassion. And you're going to be an inspiration to many people around you. And you're basically going to keep moving forward like you were doing back then when you lived in that Atlantean colony, group number 3. Well, group number 3, I hope this reading helped. If you enjoyed this reading, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. Click that notification button so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. If you like a private personal reading, you can find the link to my Etsy shop in the description box down below. And if you have any comments or if you enjoyed this reading, anything like that, go ahead and leave that in the comment section down below. Thank you so much, group number 3. And until next time, bye-bye. Hi, group number 4. Welcome to your reading. Today we are asking the universe if you had a past life in Atlantis. Now, if you did, who were you in that past life? What was your purpose in that past life? What lesson did you not complete in that past life? And how is that past life relevant to your current life? So group number 4, while I was shuffling the cards, I got from the universe that you were alive during the Atlantean era. So what they told me while I was shuffling is that when Atlantis ended, your family, your parents migrated so the other colonies or the other lands nearby, and you were just a child, like a toddler during that time. You were very young, and what you knew of Atlantis was what your parents taught you. However, Atlantis, the continent, no longer existed because it happened right. You were born in that transition where you were part of the Atlantis, continent and colonies. Then, things happened. It went down under, and your family escaped that cataclysm and made it to one of the other foreign lands. And during that time, you were like a toddler, like elementary school age for some of you guys. So the person that you were during that time, because obviously we're asking the universe who you were. In this case, you weren't born you were born at the end of the Atlantean era, when people still remembered the Atlantis. The first card that comes up for you is the Wait card. Wow, this actually goes with what I was saying, group number 4. So group number 4, like I said, you escaped the cataclysm with your family. You definitely were someone during that era that was just hoping that your new life wasn't what it was. I hope that makes sense. What I'm getting, group number 4, is the person that you were in that era was a person who got all the information of Atlantis, but was unsure to share that knowledge. You kept it all stored within your memory, within the journals that you had. A lot of scriptures were hidden, but it wasn't the time for you to share that information. That's what I'm getting, group number 4. And the reason for that is because when you were born during that time at the end of the Atlantean era, you heard the stories from your parents of why the cataclysm happened, why things were falling apart, and what you understood was that the reason for it falling apart was because humans forgot to connect with the universe. So what I'm getting, group number 4, is that you were taught and understood in your refuge, in your homo refuge, that humanity had split itself from the universe. Humanity was just caring about materialistic gains, and they were no longer searching and creating that connection with the universe. And during that lifetime, group number 4, you really were, it was a very confusing, scary moment for you. You were trying to adapt to the new civilization. You were there, and it wasn't that you were walking your walk of like, yeah, I lived in Atlantis as a toddler and I remember all of those teachings. No, it was more like you, because of what your parents told you, you understood that humanity had created this split, that had cut themselves off from the feminine energy and the feminine power, which is the connection with the universe, and were now very much action towards materialistic gains, which is the masculine energy. And because of that, you knew that if you were to share what you know, you would be like executed or you would be exiled, that people would look at you like you were crazy. Unfortunately, you were born during the time where people no longer believed in the teachings of Atlantis. People no longer were like, yeah, let's connect with the universe and connect with the earth. No, they were just like, why should I keep doing all of this stuff if I have like bills to pay, or I want more currency or things like that? That's what I'm getting. People really created that split, and you just didn't know where you fit in during that time. I see you traveling. I see you listening and observing and being sad that no one really continued with the teachings of Atlantis. And what I feel, it's the part where you were at, group number 4, because I'm getting from the universe that there was other people that survived that cataclysm that were able to teach the other civilizations they walked into the knowledge that they knew. However, it was, changed a little bit just so that those civilizations were able to understand that information. That's definitely what I'm getting, group number 4. And your purpose in that lifetime was to create the new earth. So, like I said, you went through a lot of change, you went through a lot of things. And what I'm getting, group number 4, is that you were meant to continue to share those teachings. But I don't see it. The universe isn't letting me know that that is what you did. What I'm getting is that you traveled, you looked, you observed, you tried to give little hints here and there, but you were more devastated at the fact that you've lost your home and your culture that lived there. That's something that I'm really getting, group number 4. You felt like you were cheated because your parents were able to experience living in Atlantis, the continent, and yet you had to take refuge in a different country, in a different civilization, where their beliefs weren't similar to yours. They were just more about material wealth and material belongings than really feeding the soul and embracing the universe and the energy and the oneness that we all have. That's something that I'm really getting. That was your purpose in that life, and the lesson that you didn't complete in that life. Group number 4 is the void. So the lesson that you didn't learn, group number 4, when you were surviving during that time, is that was all part of the plan. Change was meant to happen. People were holding on to old structures, not old ways of doing things, because what I'm getting right now, group number 4, is that the Atlantean continent, that it had all of that knowledge and wisdom. It spread it to the colonies. Some of the colonies took it in, the ones that were closer to the continent. The ones that were further out, because there wasn't that much contact with the Atlantis continent, kind of lost themselves. Because when you build society, when you build structure, and you're trying to create an empire, the more you spread out, the more opportunity there is for different opinions and different beliefs. And that's something that during that era they didn't understand, and that's something that you didn't understand either, group number 4. And with the void, the lesson that you didn't learn is to embrace that change. The lesson that you didn't learn in that lifetime is that change is inevitable, and change is constant, and it will always happen. But change gives us the opportunity to create something new and something better. But the more you resist change, the more likely you are to create something not so great. The more you resist change, the more likely you are going to create a structure or a society that doesn't benefit everyone. Instead, it only benefits a couple, kind of like how we are right now. But definitely, group number 4, the lesson that you did not learn in that past life where you were born at the end of the Atlantean era, is that the great cosmos has their plan, and their plan is going to happen whether the collective believes it or not. And in that time of your life, you lost faith and you didn't see the bigger picture. And honestly, it must have been difficult to see the big picture in that lifetime, because you really lost, a culture that you felt was snatched from you. But the lesson that you didn't learn, group number 4, was the fact that everything comes to an end, and even the greatest civilizations will come to the end. And the more you embrace change, the easier it is to create something good, rather than when you resist it, it's more likely to create something bad. Now, how is that life relevant to your current life, group number 4? I have here star bathing. So what I'm getting, group number 4, is because that is what you experienced in that past life, in this current life, it's actually allowing you to expand your soul. It's allowing you to embrace that energy, that knowledge and wisdom that you carry deep within yourself, in your DNA. With the star bathing card, group number 4, the way that it's current is because you lived through that. Right now, you're able to embrace the change. You're able to embrace the things that are happening around and adapt and survive. That's really what I'm getting, group number 4. And the other way that it's relevant to your current life, group number 4, is that now you're not being so hard on yourself. Now you're really just kind of, it's not that you're accepting everything that is happening, but you have a voice now. Now you're more likely to have these conversations, discuss with different people your different viewpoints, share your thoughts, your concerns with the people around you. And that's actually making an impact because it's helping you heal from that lesson that you didn't learn about the change and the void. And that's helping you grow spiritually and expand as a spirit, obviously, but it's also going to help you for future lives when you connect to the higher realms. And what I'm getting, group number 4, is that some of you are able to connect to those higher dimensions, you know, and are able, that's what I'm getting. Group number 4, what I got from the universe right now is that because you went through that in your past life, in this current life, like I said, you're adapting to change, you're seeing things through a new perspective, you have compassion for others, and that's actually helping you move up into the 5th dimension. And by that means really seeing things from an outer perspective. What I mean by that, it means that you are taking a step back, and instead of being in the picture and not seeing the whole picture, you're taking a step back enough where you see how everything is playing out and how everything is important the way it's happening. And because of this, you are able to be compassionate and really come from a place of love towards yourself and others. And you understand that all the things that are happening have a purpose, a reason of, you know, existing, because that thing that maybe you're like, oh my goodness, that's horrible, or that's a lot of bad luck, it's actually pushing you into the direction that you need to be, group number 4. What I'm getting is that in this life, because of everything that you went in your past life, you're speaking out more, you're discussing, but also it's helping you level up into the 5D, in which there's no more criticism, there's no more judgment, there's no more separation. It's more like we all accept one another, and that starts with each individual person. By accepting yourself, your self-love, and not comparing yourself to others, it's helping you level up into that love energy of the 5th dimension, group number 4. I hope that made sense, group number 4. If not, you can leave a comment down below and I could try to explain it better. But what I'm really getting with the star bathing card, group number 4, is that you guys, because of what you experienced, are going to be able to see this current world in a different viewpoint and see it from bird eye view rather than just individual aspects. You're really seeing how everything plays a part, and that's going to help you and help others really dig deep and become one. That's what I'm getting, group number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense. If you like this reading, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, click that notification button so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. And if you'd like a personal private reading, you can find the link to my Etsy shop in the description box down below. And if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. And thank you so much, group number 4. And until next time, bye-bye.